for Thursday, April 16th. And in the absence of our chair, I will be acting as chair pro tem until he arrives. I think he's stuck in traffic. So with that, if that's okay with my colleagues, for me, I'll act as like a chair.
Yes.
I guess
Right?
so.
Okay. So since we have this done, let's have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Stepanian? Commissioner Lee?
Aye.
Commissioner Dovanisian?
Here,
Commissioner Solis is absent. Commissioner Wagner is absent. Commissioner Gregorian?
I'm here.
Commissioner Kivanian is absent.
Okay, next item, please.
Consent item, approval of a regular commission meeting minutes from March 19th, 2009 at 2 p.m.
Okay. Has anybody any comments? Has anybody read it? I hope that you have read the minutes.
we studied all of it.
Okay. I have a couple of minor comments while my colleagues are still reviewing that. On page 3, Commission staff comments. The second, the heading should be Congressman Chiefs Congressional Art, not Congress Chiefs. There is a misspelling in there.
Congressman's. Right.
Congressman Chief.
Okay.
And also, on the 4th page, I believe there was something that I saw earlier, but I cannot find it now. Okay, while my colleagues are still doing their thing.
Actually, I have the correction for the 1, 2, 3, the fourth one down. It's the 4th annual Asian Friendship Golf Tournament put on by the Asian American Chamber Association.
Okay.
I found the other comment that I had. Page 4, third item, it says commemorative event, thank you. That's the heading. The last line should be annual month of remembrance. We have it week of remembrance. Actually, it was a week of remembrance for a while, but this year it is called a month of remembrance. So it should be month of remembrance.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Also, where's the city manager's office, apostrophe S on that one.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Motion to approve the minutes
As corrected.
as corrected.
Okay.
Seconded.
Okay, we have the motion and second. If there are no comments, let's go to the roll call, please.
Commissioner Stepanian?
Aye.
Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
Commissioner Dovanisian?
Aye.
Commissioner Solis is absent. Commissioner Wagner is absent. Commissioner Gregorian?
Yes.
Chairperson Kivanian is absent.
Okay, next item, please.
Introductions and presentations, there are none. Oral communications.
I have one card from our friend, Mr. Dick Seeley. Why don't you approach? And if I could remind you and everybody who is watching that on these oral communications, each member of the audience has 5 minutes, and we can ask questions from the speaker, but we wouldn't have any debate or any decision making, and we may refer the staff the matter for more investigation and bringing it back. So with that in mind, Mr. Seeley, how are you today?
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. It's a very nice day.
Let's hear you for the next 5 minutes.
Basically, we're probably going to need a little more than 5 minutes, because I want to introduce to you a student artist at Daly High School whose name is James Moya. And while I'm no expert in art, I think he's very well qualified and a very creative individual at the age of 17. At the age of 17, I was in trouble with just about everything except the law. Certainly not involved in artistry in any way, shape, or form. But I would like to see something done, if we can, something done to help him. I'm trying to get a scholarship or two for him already, because I think he has tremendous talent. I've had an artist check him out, who indicates same thing. His art teacher, Emily Goff at Daly High School, also is very, very high on him. So without further ado, he has some of his material and so forth, because he does a variety of stuff in his portfolio. But we couldn't get into school today because it's spring break, and he has a much larger portfolio at school, but we couldn't get into it. So you can take a look at it. He'll pass that around and so forth and so on. Anyway, let me bring him up. I don't know how you want to handle this. If you want him to, pass this around. It's open and so forth and so on. But anyway.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Moyer. How are you?
Good. I moved in Glendale like about 4 years ago. I've been living here since then, and ever since I was 5, I've always loved art. It's been a passion to me, something I've always done, and now that I'm graduating, like, I'm thinking about the extra step that what am I gonna do, and I'm stuck right there, and I'm looking for school, thinking about looking to go into PCC, and but it's not cheap, and I'm asking help from anybody who can give me help. I know it's money wise. I'm working right now. I'm working a weekend job, and it's not easy, So that's all I really got to say. That's pretty much what I brought today. I got more stuff at home, but it's really large, large canvases, murals, and I draw every day of my life. Don't stop, keep doing it, and that's pretty much it. That's all I'm asking is, if you can help me out any ways possible. Really appreciate it.
What kind of help do you have in mind?
Well, it's, pretty much, because, I come from a low-income family. My father passed away when I was 10, and hasn't been easy since, but, we've been fighting so we can get to the step that I'm right now. And I met Mr. Sealing, and he's willing to help me too, but, I'm not really clear, also how I can get that help. But he's giving me more of an understanding, and that's why I came to you guys, see if you guys are capable of doing that for me.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Maybe if I could suggest, I don't know, I assume the school has a counselor.
Yeah, it does.
I've seen the counselor, some financial aid out there. I don't know if you pursued that with them. You have?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Well, that's what Mr. Sealy's helping me out with basic scholarships and stuff.
Yeah.
The counselors are the ones that referred me to him to begin with.
Right.
Starting out from a scholarship standpoint.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But I know that's not going to be enough, so that's what I'm asking.
I remember last time when Mr. Sealy brought this up, Commissioner Solis recommended that you might contact the Glendale Latino Association. Have you had any luck with them?
Yeah, well, have we?
No, at this point I haven't, because I've been, believe me, I've been snowed in other areas and I have a lot of things to do. But I think it's one of the things we should be doing is that the Latino Association and there's a couple of other groups too that we can do it, but I've been not only working with Daly, the scholarships, I'm also working with the CV Town Council, trying to get, we interviewed 20 people last Wednesday. And anyone here that thinks that the children today are stupid, like you see heard around, that don't have any intelligence, they can't do math and they can't do this, is full of beans, among other things, my feeling. Because these kids are absolutely exceptional. And this is just 20 out of a lot more. And James is another one of them. Not at CV, but it's the same thing. It's even more difficult at Daly than it is at CV to get recognized because of it. Well, let me not get into that.
Okay.
Any comments from the other commissioners?
Well, I know that it's been a while for me. I know they have Pell grants and some other federal grants, and they've got state grants, and I assume you're pursuing all that.
Yeah.
And because you're of the low income status, that really does help in terms of getting grants for schools. In terms of what the city can do, I'm sure.
Yes, Ms. Marasha.
Mr. Silly came to see me yesterday. We talked about James,
and his future. And I suggested that maybe we should get together, three of us, and I will review his portfolio and help him out with the business side of the his career, with managing or giving him some direction to the right galleries or finding the best venue for him to show his work. But first of all, I need to get familiar with his style, his portfolio, and see what is it that he does that he enjoys most, and we'll go from there.
Have you tried with DreamWorks?
Yeah, those are big companies.
They are what?
They are big companies, and they seem hard to get in. There's a lot of competition to get in there, so
The question was, have you tried?
no.
You should, because the type of work that I see here, it matches very closely, or it could be well appreciated, because they want people who could get into this kind of designs, and then they develop it into different areas. Most of the animated work that they produce is based on this kind of sketches and drawings, even though they use computerized forms and all that, but they basically start with initially with the hand done work. So that would be a very good area. Disney or the DreamWorks are the areas that specifically with the style I see here. Of course, Ms. Marashan is more of an expert in that area, but basically visiting their sites, I've seen
Were you talking about DreamWorks, basically?
DreamWorks. Yes.
You know, what I understand, following with my colleagues' comments, if you ask them to offer you a high-paying job, they probably will not take it for the competition and all the other good things, or bad things. But if you ask for some kind of an internship or some kind of a educational startup or some kind of a cadet, if you like, then they probably will have those kind of programs. And I'm not quite sure if they do or not. But the unfortunate thing in your and many, many other people's case is that, especially in today's economy, the money is very tight, and our commission is still not having enough budget as we would like to spend. And we as a commission and the city of Glendale as the city certainly do not have those funds to support talented people like you as much as we would have liked to. But I think one of the avenues is, Ms. Marashan actually is expert in these kind of things, and maybe she can help you and direct you, and that's on her personal level, nothing to do with, the city overall, to probably give you some directions on how you can market your art, and hopefully by selling some of your art, you can probably raise some funds. Because, there's a lot of talent there. That's a lot of good work I just saw. It's unfortunate that you are caught up in this situation, and I wish we could help. Hopefully one of our viewers at home might see this and might, come up with an open heart and open purse and help you on that. But, usually in these kind of situations, either a good agent or, some scholarships or some, grants and student loans and things. Other than that, I really don't know any other way, and I wish I could be more help.
And personally, I've not seen much of on this kind of a situation of donations or money that people raise. It's more of directing you towards grants and scholarships, because for paying university fees, which is an ongoing thing for several years, and they are heavy. I'm very familiar with PCC and with Art Center, but for that they could direct you. I don't know who has contact, maybe Richard with Mr. Gladstone. Can we also have him, because he used to be working with Disney, and before that I think he was with DreamWorks, if I'm not wrong.
Well, he has
his own animation company now.
Okay, he could be a great source, and he is a wonderful person, so he could direct you, because this is mainly directing towards where the funds are, not as much as donation money. So, and most probably he could be of a great help to you.
Can I make two suggestions? One organization is called the National Foundation for the Advancement of the Arts, and it depends on your age. 17. You still might qualify even though you're going to be graduating from high school. They're a national organization. Students, they have a whole website on how they help students and types of scholarships, and it's also a competition. If you get involved with their program, there's a lot of benefits. So I would check out the National Foundation for the Advancement of the Arts. They're out of Florida.
National
foundation
For
for the advancement of the arts. And it's
Locally here? Or?
no, they're out of Miami.
Miami?
But it's an organization that services all of the United States. They spend a lot of time with students trying to get them into colleges. If you are part of their program, they actually have agreements with art colleges around the country to give discounts to people who do their program. They also offer anywhere up to $5,000 to $10,000 in award scholarship monies. So I would look into that to see if you qualify because of your age. The other thing I might suggest, and I did this because I have a daughter who is an artist, and when I had to do the same thing, looking for money for her, I checked out the Hispanic Scholarship Foundation. They're out of San Francisco. They will list all types of scholarships that you could apply for. They even have categories of dance, visual arts, photography. So I would go to their website. They have links to different types of scholarship funds that you could take a look at. So
Well, thank you.
try those two.
Mr. Espinoza, may I ask if you could please write those names of all those organizations and foundations for the gentleman?
Sure. Let me write it down.
And if
I
possible,
wanted to respond to Ms. Hovhanessian. The DreamWorks is fine, but at my 78 years of experience in this world, the best way to go to the DreamWorks or anywhere else is with somebody
connection.
who's important, who's connected, because it's never what you know, it's who you know. And that's what we would like to be able to find out. Because I would like to see somebody that would stand behind James from a financial standpoint, if nothing else. And, get him into some place where he can expand he has the creativity, he has the talent, I'm convinced of that. But it's here, and it can be expanded up to this. But the only way you can do that is by dealing in the artistic field with artists and people who teach art, et cetera, and it's a
You're right. I agree with
tough
you.
way to go.
You're absolutely correct. Just that's why I said we need to get, maybe if we get in touch, because he was a commissioner with us too, Mr. Gladstone, and he was working in that, and still he has his own business. He might be a good reference person, or he might be a person, if he himself does not would direct you towards a person that he knows of. Especially, with this organization, especially with DreamWorks and etc. It's good if, as Commissioner Gregorian said, they might give you as an intern, or even just, as a volunteer. Working with them is an honor, and it teaches you. I can see that there's a lot of raw talent here that could be directed towards one of those directions. And even places like Art Center, they like students who are already somehow, they have found their own niche and they want to go through a direction. So that's why the name that I knew of, I wish I had more names, I know of him. When we went and visited, he was there at the time working. So I can't remember we visited him at DreamWorks or at Disney, but he knows all the people in that industry.
I can't remember. What's his first
And
name?
Frank Gladstone.
Gladstone, yeah.
He used to be a commissioner here, and he is one of the guys that you need to know anyway. If you want the connection, he probably is one of the
I met
best
him
connections you can have.
I've been kind of around here at the council for quite a while.
Yeah, and he worked with the city, and he did last year, April 24th, or one of the events. He was one of our MCs, or the year before, I'm not too sure, but he's very connected. He's
Well,
a
thank you very much. That's a good
community person.
reference. Yes.
Can I also give you one other suggestion, and that is to talk to the recruiters at the art schools, such as at Cal Arts, Otis, and any other art schools that you can think of.
He's already applied it.
Right, and I'm not talking about applying.
Oh, I know.
What I'm talking about is speaking with the recruiters and taking your portfolio into them, because they can help you a lot. They can direct you, even if maybe the cost is still prohibitive. They still might be able to direct you because they know about programs, and those are people that you want to make friends with. At Otis, Mark Meredith is the director of recruitment at that school, and I would give him a call. I work with another program. He comes and speaks to high school students.
Put that down on your.
Let me write that down. Oops, did I do that? Wait a minute. Excuse me.
It's okay.
I did that by mistake. Sorry.
All those
No
names
problem,
could
yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Mr. Moyer, I don't really. I think we've made all the important points. I don't know if we were ever. This is going to turn anything into what you are looking for. But my advice to you is never give up.
Yeah.
If you have an attitude of, oh, they are not going to take me, and you don't apply, if you don't apply, there is absolutely certain they will not take you. But if you do apply, then there is a chance. So never give up.
Thank you.
That's the best advice I can give you now. If not for this, later on in your life, you will know that this was a good advice.
I think it is.
Okay, and please report it back to us. Let's see what happens after you contact these organizations. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to hear your success story.
Okay.
So let's hear that.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And I still
We'll be in
like.
touch with Ms.
Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch with Ms. Marashian. I know she's one of your best bets at this stage because she knows who to put you in touch with.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Thank you for your time, and I would really like to just say one small thing, that I would like to see this city get much more involved in the arts and the humanities, because that's where our culture is. It's not in math and science, not that those are not important, they are, but it's in art, it's in literature, it's in poetry, it's in music, it's in dancing, it's in ballet, etc. We should be paying a lot more attention to that than we are today. So that's my last comments. Thank you very much.
I think we would agree with you wholeheartedly, but I don't know if you have been, following our events at this month, the Man's in Humanity to Man. I mean, if you see the response that we get from people, and the excitement that it has created in the city, there is a good chance that what you are saying gradually will come to fruition.
Okay, well, this is the most important aspect of it, because that runs everything.
It is unfortunate, but you are right. I wish you were wrong.
I wish I was too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's go on the next item on the agenda, please.
Business agenda, action items, none. Reports, Man's Inhumanity to Man art exhibition opening reception.
Okay, Mr. Seeley, I wish you will stay for this next presentation. It's going to be interesting.
Okay.
So, all right.
Want me to give you a call? Set up
Next
something?
week.
So, the reports information only. Let's start with Ms. Marashian.
Okay, I'm very pleased to report that after so many months of preparation and planning for the Men's Inhumanity to Man event, finally it's here, and the grand opening was a big success. It's still on, and the exhibition is going to be on display until May 8th. We have one more big event scheduled for this coming Saturday. I'm going to be very brief because I know every one of you, especially the art commissioners who were also the member of the subcommittee, have a lot of details to share with all of you. So what I would like to say, first of all, thank you for being at the opening night and supporting the event. And the Saturday's event that we have scheduled is all-day event, which includes gallery walkthrough, artist Q&A session, panel discussion, lecture and piano performance by Vache Mangarian. My final report will be prepared and presented to you at our next meeting, hopefully with a DVD or a videotape or a PowerPoint presentation. Some visuals also will be included at my final report. As an addition, I would like to share with you this morning we were interviewed by the Los Angeles Daily News. We were at the Brand Gallery, and 3 artists were there also. They be prepared to read an article at this Sunday's paper. That's it for now.
For now, that's it. Okay. I'm sure Mr. Ovanesian is really anxious to get out everything from her chest. Let's hear you.
Well, I need to say that those who didn't come to our event, they have missed a lot, big time, as they say. Well, I was overwhelmed the first night, the opening night, cars being parked all the way to Kennett, from Brand Library down, because we had such a huge group of people coming to visit. That's wonderful. It was wonderful because of the efforts we put together, but it was wonderful to see that our community is so involved, that they come to see what's happening and they are supporting the events that's happening in the city. I was not hopeful. I was thinking the last night I sat and called so many people I could and emailed, but it was much, much more than any one of us could have put into email. And the news press, you guys have done fantastic job with your interviews, because that did a big thing there. What touched my heart and soul more than anything else was last night's event. I hope I won't cry while I'm talking, because all morning I was telling all of our staff in the district, and I was crying with each one of them. And so did they, and they all wrote down to come at least for the 18th. I said 18th would be more on a different level, but it was a night of music and poetry. It was a night that anybody who wants to be open to anything that happens in this world, as far as with their heart, to look at the world with their heart, that was the time for them to be there. The things they shared, all the people who are coming from a diverse background, people who are immigrant, first, second generation, because when it goes on, maybe people forget. The way they depicted the whole thing was phenomenal. You felt that you belonged to everyone, and everybody in that room belonged to you, and you belonged to the whole world. You could not see the distances between individuals and the rest of the world. The way they expressed their poetry and the music that they had was unbelievable. It shows how we get into desperate times, and it was tearful moments. Yes, they joked about me getting teary-eyed, but you know what? At night when I went home and I put my head on the pillow, I thought, oh my God, what a blessing that now at least maybe to some extent we are not going through all of the things that man has gone through, or we are enjoying independence or some kind of freedom, or we are not under that much pressure. Because I know that Mr. Stepanian might say that we live in a very hectic world. That's true. But what was expressed and what they expressed from their heart of what people have experienced, and it is very true because I have seen all of that. I have gone through all of that. It was phenomenal. So I wish we would have more of that. The music choices that our chairperson has done was unbelievable, the pieces that he chose. I could just die for you, Mr. Kevanian, Commissioner Kevanian, for the choices you made, for the pieces that you had for the night. So it is at a level that I need somebody else to say, because I would go on, and I cannot end anywhere, because it was phenomenal. Thank you for everybody who was there. Thank you for all the artists who put this together. Thank you for Armand and his father and donation that was done. Everything was put together. Thank you for Razmik, who was running around and making sure everything would happen and would be in place so I could sit and cry. So it was all wonderful. And Ripsime and all the crew and the news press, and excellent. So it was a night of dreams for me. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments from other commissioners about any of these two events that we've had so far?
I wasn't sure what the reference to me was, but other than that, it was a very, very good exhibition, really well thought out and relevant, and the way it went beyond, obviously, the Armenian genocide, and I was quite impressed, and let's have more of them.
Yes. The reference was that, because you look at the world with a very sort of good lenses all over. I said, there are lots of things are happening in the world, but we are not directly under that pressure. So what you heard was the pain through all your muscles and every molecule of your being. So we are blessed at times. So it's a message of hope as well.
Okay. Any other comments?
I had a great time at the opening. It was a very good turnout. Thank you to all the people and citizens in the city of Glendale for your support, and there was probably some guests that were from other cities. So it was very, very, very good.
Okay.
About that part, could I add something? It was the first night, the opening night. There was art, there were artists, there were celebrities, there were people, there were families. It was like a combination. There was news press. You didn't know which side to take. It was in that sense, it was phenomenal. But the night before, it was unbelievable.
News press, you mean news media, by the way?
News media, yes. I'm sorry.
All right.
I get too excited.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right. Commissioner Kevanian just arrived, and he still hasn't gotten his chair back, but he has some comments.
That's okay. Fortunately for me, I came in just at the right time to talk, so which I don't do usually during meetings a lot. But I have to say that, number one, I apologize for being late by freeway traffic. I have to say that I'm very happy and pleased with the way these events have been going for us, because it's really not about the Armenian genocide. It's not about the Holocaust. It's not about the events happening in Darfur and Cambodia and all the rest. We even had art from, I think, Honduras or Guatemala. It's not about each particular event. It's about all of them. It's an all-encompassing event, and I don't think the city of Glendale has ever done anything like this, to this magnitude with such great success. And this is a credit to this commission to show that, we are doing something and we are succeeding, that this commission has not failed, and that this commission should continue its success. That's another side and another piece of the puzzle, that the city needs a body like this to bring culture and arts to the community. And without really the key members on this commission, this event would not have been at this magnitude. I guarantee you that. If it wasn't for Commissioners Grigorian and Derovanesian, we had $10,000 donated to us. That's not something to laugh at. That's not, and it's not an easy task. But you know what? We did it. We did it within a couple of months. We didn't have a whole year to fundraise, to do big things, and talk to all the media sources and all that. We had a couple of months to put this thing together, and you know what? We did. And I'm not saying that to pat us on the back. I'm just trying to point out the need for a body like this, with city staff as well. Without Ms. Marashan's help, believe me, none of this would have happened. None of it. It would have been impossible.
And Alisa's also.
Of course, and Elisa Resnick, who was very flexible. Last-minute changes happened. She was extremely flexible and extremely helpful and resourceful. So, and this is really, people should really come to this event to see what their city is actually doing for them. And I was actually, my father was able to, I was not able to come last night to enjoy the fruits of my labor, quite honestly. But I'm just all over the place. But my father was able to make it, and he told me, he said, surprisingly, he said, the majority of people were non-Armenian. And I said, great, that's exactly what we want with these kinds of events. Because, like I said, it's not about the genocide, it's not about the Holocaust, it's not about any of those. It's about all of them together, and it's about all of humanity, and all about humanity's suffering. Because we're all suffering. Homelessness is a big factor. We're in the biggest recession, that I can remember. Granted, I can't remember any other recessions, but these are current events happening, and this commission and these set of events have done an amazing job to let people come and see and absorb what's happening.
That is very correct. The poetry, the pieces that were chosen, they reflected all of what you talk right now and much more. It was from different directions. It talks about poverty, it talks about all the natural disasters and what people go through, to all the other inhumanities of man to man. And it was done in such a classy and professional level that it was a night of dreams. It's a long time I haven't been to an event like that. Many, many years. And I go to those, and I really appreciate. You know how emotional I get. This was one of the very best. I will never forget.
I'm very glad to hear that. I really am, because there was a lot of hard work put into picking the pieces and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest with you, I expected nothing less than to have an emotionally. I don't want to call it draining, but when you let all of your emotions out, I wanted it to be that kind of a night. And I heard it was, so I'm very pleased with that.
If I may add my 2 cents, I will leave the crying to
Commissioner
Derovanesian and the back patting for later on. I know that with Ms. Marashan, we are going to have a full report of the entire event and whatever we did and all the good things that happened. First of all, I'm going to state some reasonable facts, and these are as follows. For the opening ceremony, we thought anything around 300 would be good, and between 300 to 500 will be really excellent. The most conservative number that we had was 800, and the average estimate of people who came to the opening night was between 1,000 to 1,200. So if we expected 300 to be a good number and we got more than 1,000 people in there, that is quite an achievement. And almost everybody who came there, actually I think of this over 1,000 people, more than half of the attendees were from outside Glendale. The good side of that is that we put Glendale on the map of the art scene in Southern California. And that was intentional. That's why we chose the artists from all Southern California and from mostly out of the area. And the hundreds of people who came in there from out of the area, after the gallery, they went around, they were asking, where is the best restaurant to eat? Where is the best place to go and hang around in here? And so all these people who came from out of area not only spent the time in the gallery and enjoyed this tremendous, extraordinary exhibition, but they, after the closing, they went around and went to the restaurants, to shops, to probably the Americana and all the other hangout areas in Glendale and spent hopefully some reasonable amount of money. So that already is a huge indication of what we can do. We were on the media very extensively. The Iranian radio covered us, had an interview with me for about 15 minutes and with Farzad Kohan for about a couple of minutes prior. And just that radio station brought probably at least about 50 people in there. Because quite many people came to me and said, oh, I never knew about this program, and I heard you in the radio in the morning, and that's why I'm here. And that shows how successful it was. The Armenian media covered it tremendously. Almost every newspaper that we know had articles and press releases in them. The several non-Armenian and non-Iranian media covered us. There was this online newspaper in Santa Monica who did that. I heard from one of the committee members, Farzad, that he had been in touch with a Latino station, and apparently they are going to do something about us. Just because we have a couple of Latino artists in there who are showing the atrocities and the inhuman acts in Central America, and for all these other reasons. So
Telemundo.
I believe it's Telemundo, but I'm not quite sure, so that's why I didn't make a name. But so the issue is that if we do it right, if we do it the way we did it, and if we have the support of the city with their staff like Ripsime and Alisa and all the other like Rich Wells and Richard Espinoza and everybody else who was involved, Sidney Cleary, George Chapjian, Zizet Ayad, I mean, all of these people who really were around to help us on a support or directly involvement, it shows that a partnership with the city and a good committee of volunteers can do wonders. And I think that's the most promising message that we have from this event. It is a tremendous exhibition. Whoever has not seen it, it is open until May 8th. I absolutely recommend people to go and watch and enjoy. It is not gross. It is not, all blood and corpse and things like that, but there is a lot of hope. There is a lot of humanity. There is a lot of subtle messages of humanity in there. And I think that's the most important message that we really want to convey to people. And last night, as Ms. Derovanesyan already has said, I'm not going to repeat what she said, but that last night, the night of poetry and music, was also an incredible success. The city officials, a couple of them were there, and they were flabbergasted. I thought, I actually counted people coming in and out, and the seats. I could say approximately 350 people were there. in the hall, coming, going, and whatever. And 150 people for an evening of very serious, very high quality, and also very emotional poetry and music night is a huge achievement. I must admit it is a huge achievement. And almost everybody, whoever was present there, came to us at the end, congratulated. They thought this was one of the best events they had seen. They want to see more. And even Councilman Aran Najarian, who was there, he was introduced. He stayed there for a long time, and he was very impressed. He realized how important it is. Actually, his parents stayed up to the very end. So I think this is a great message that we are sending. Not only about the genocide, not about the Armenian killings, not about the, all the other Holocaust and all the other things. But in addition to this, what the message we are sending is, look, if we take a theme, whatever good theme, and if we work right, and if we publicize it right, there is a tremendous appetite and thirst in the community to come and be part of it. And I think that is the best message that we've gotten. That's the biggest success. Yes, we did have some issues to resolve on the way, but every committee who works, every action that you take, there are things that you have to resolve. There are glitches that you have to overcome. There are differences of opinions you have to overcome. But that's not the point. We had an incredibly hardworking commission, subcommittee, an incredibly reliable people to work with, and whoever took up any responsibility came on top more than 100%. And I think that is, I'm so honored to work with this group of people and these individuals. Sometimes they made the job of chairing them very easy because they all did everything right. And sometimes they made it a little difficult, but that's how the chair is. So the issue is, at the end, we all succeeded in doing something collectively and putting Glendale on the news media of Southern California outside our own boundaries, outside our own territories. And just like what Ms. Marashian just reported, the Daily Mail is going to have an article on us next, hopefully this weekend. And one other thing I forgot to say is, one of the best and biggest and most well-known art critics in Southern California, Peter Frank, came to the exhibition, the opening night. He was flabbergasted. I'm quoting him, I hope he doesn't mind. I'm quoting him, he said, "This is very powerful. One of the best exhibitions I've seen for a long time." These are the quotes that he told me. So if he starts writing articles about us, that shows that, yes, we have achieved what we were going to achieve, and hopefully we will, in the future, no matter how we get reorganized, hopefully we will have those means and those people and those support staff from the city to be able to move forward and do more and bigger and better things. And believe me, my friends and colleagues and everybody who is watching, there is a huge appetite and a huge talent and a huge potential. All we have to do is do it right and tap that talent.
Now, I need to say, I agree with you. I really feel honored. There are times that we get into disagreements, and here we do too, and behind the screens and all that. But it's an honor to work with a group of people that we worked, with the choices that people made, with all the work that they brought through, and we finally were able to get everything in place. But meanwhile, whoever is watching this program right now and all the reruns, I would like to thank again the wonderful human being who did with his donation this event possible. I'm sure Mr. Seeley would agree with me. If we would not get the money, we would not be able to do that. Mr. Ajit Maitawala, may God bless you and all your family, because this kind of donations, because without his donation and Arman's father, we could not have put this work together. To have the magnitude of the work that we had, we need to have a curator, we need to have all the different things that we had to go through, and with his money, he made it possible for hardworking people like us to work together and to make it come through. So please help us always, and help all the young people who are working towards art, because this is the direction we need to go. And thank you, and thank you, and thank you to Mr. Zargarian, who made it possible, and to our wonderful staff and the city and wonderful subcommittee. Thank you again for all of that. Thank you.
If I might just add one thing to remind our public and whoever is listening to us in the next few days, these events are not finished yet. We have a major event, again, a very nice one, quality one, arranged for Saturday, April 18th, which is this coming Saturday. The event is from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and we have several different programs included in there, which are 2 sessions of walkthrough with the guest curator, Dr. Ramela Grigorian Abamontian, who is the curator of this exhibition, and she will take you around and show you some of the pictures and explain some of the artwork and the concepts and all that behind those creations. And then we have a question and answer session with the artists. 6 of the artists have kindly agreed to be part of this day, and they will be there available for any questions and that the audience might have. And then we have a multidisciplinary panel discussion with several professors from several major higher educational institutions in Southern California. So, and that again will be moderated by Dr. Ramela Grigorian Abamontian. The 3 professors who will be part of that are Professor Angelo Allen. He's a lecturer in art department in Pierce College. Then Professor Levon Marashlian. He is a professor of history in Glendale Community College. And then we have Professor Paul von Bloom, who is a senior lecturer in African American Studies, Communication Studies, and Art History, and he is with UCLA. So, and after that, we will have another gallery walkthrough, and then we will have another lecture, and again, very high quality lecture and piano performance by another higher education institution. This person's name is Mr. Vache Mangarian, a very well-known pianist in the classical circle, and he is the director of the Armenian Studies and Institute of Armenian Studies at the USC. So as you can see, USC, UCLA, Pierce College, and Glendale Community College are all part of our program on Saturday. And it is going to be a phenomenal day again. I invite everybody to be there. As usual, all the admissions are free. So I will hope that our audience, after the great excitement of the poetry night and the opening night, will also get excited and surprise us more by attending really full house.
Okay, can I say
the last thing, again, to remind the public that the main event is on April 24th at the Alex Theater at 7 p.m. Again, admission is free, and the tickets can be obtained from Alex Theater box office. So that will conclude the whole month of April, although our exhibition will go until May 8th at the Brand Gallery and Art Library. Yes.
Okay, for April 18th, I would like to add, if you are students in colleges or high schools, it would be very important for you to come and take notes, because you can use this as part of a kind of a presentation that you do for your classes. If you are educators, teachers with the public schools, with parochial schools, if you are with the Armenian schools, any educator who wants to include this kind of a content, come to this event, because Dr. Abamontian has promised that if you come in and you're an educator, you could tell us more or less what you want. She could prepare a mini lesson, and she could add the DVD with all the images and other stuff that we have from this event to include as a lesson plan for you. So it's a major thing. Today I discussed this with a lot of our colleagues at USD, and they said they are going to be there. Somehow the message did not get to them again. Sometimes they're too busy, they don't open up. So if you're watching this program, if you have relatives who are educators, remind them, let them know. So this is going to be very interesting, and it could be a good lesson plan for the teachers to take back to their classes, especially it's already made, and it's going to be having all the additional parts, the visuals, and etc. So that's a day that you, I'm sure, would enjoy, and it would be another phenomenal day, as Mr. Grigorian or Commissioner Grigorian said. But for educators, it's unbelievable. We can use it a lot for our classes and for future use too. It's not a one-time use. You could use it forever after. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments on this? Well, I hope Mr. Seeley and Mr. Moya will be there on Saturday. We will be looking forward to seeing you there.
Well, that was very interesting. I appreciate it. I just hope that all of this gets down to the low-income level, not just to the middle class and the elites, but for the bottom.
Well, these are admission free, so everybody can attend, and we are not charging any high fees. But
it's transportation, it's where it's at, it's, a lot of factors get involved in that when you don't have any money in your pocket. And,
well, Mr. Seeley,
Okay.
we hope the elites would pay for this kind of functions, and the low incomes will produce.
well, we'll see. We'll talk on the way home. Maybe.
okay, hopefully we'll be able to be there, and we'll discuss this on a different forum. Okay, thank you. All right. Any other comments on this? Okay. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Okay. So let's go on the next item on the agenda, please, if there are no more comments.
Diamond Awards reception ceremony update.
Okay, Ms. Marashian.
Yes. As you know, the recognition ceremony for the Diamond Award for Achievement in the Arts is scheduled to take place on Thursday, May 14th, from 6 p.m. to 8 at the Embassy Suites Hotel on Central. This hotel is actually co-sponsoring our event by waiving the rent and the refreshments, and it's a new hotel in our city. It's been there for 6 months. In a way, it's a good opportunity for us to work with the city businesses and the corporations and invite them to be part of the city events. At this event, 4 individuals will be honored for their exemplary contributions into the cultural life of Glendale. And last Diamond Awards event, I believe there was a silent action fundraising event that you were part of. But this time we don't have any of those, and we've been working really hard to have the event successful and planning every details. I will have to get in touch with you after the meeting and before the ceremony meeting and give you some details about the programming of the event. That's about it. I don't have anything more. I just want to ask you to save the date, May 14th, to be there.
Okay. Is all the logistics, every thing is planned and done? And do you need any of us to get involved and help you in
really
anything?
Appreciate it. If you could get involved and help us out with anything you can, that will be great. Me and Richard went to see the space and the floor plan, and we invited the artists also, the winners, to get involved, to be familiar with the space and prepare their portfolios. I'm not going to share every detail, so you will have some surprises at the event.
I believe the ballroom is called Diamond Ballroom or something. Is that correct? A coincidence, huh?
Diamond Awards at the Diamond
I think you did it
Ballroom.
on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. So everything is set and done, and do you need
We're still
any
working,
committee
yes.
or subcommittee or volunteers to help you? I know you are fed up with the
We're
subcommittee.
almost done. We're almost done. We
Okay.
have started working on this project almost at the same time with the Men's in Humanity to Men back in December. So right now we're publicizing, working towards designing the postcards, the invitations, and the press release was sent out last week, and I believe it was in the Glendale News Press yesterday. So we want to make sure that the community knows about the winners and the event, and we're expecting about 150 people. Who knows, maybe more. The place is so beautiful. It's breathtaking. You're going to love it.
Okay. We believe you. Any other comments on the Diamond Awards?
Could we have a Woman of the Year kind of a thing? Because Miss Marashian simultaneously is doing all these different tasks at the same time. I don't know
They
how
enjoy
she handles
doing
it.
it.
I was going to say I remember being very skeptical when this issue came up of doing the Diamond Awards at the same time as the Men's and Humanity Against Man, and I think that's we pulled it off somehow. I don't know how you did it.
Somehow,
but
we know.
It's too early. Maybe you need to wait until the day.
Really, as long as you have the planning and the logistics down, there's everything just kind of falls into place. But still, I mean, kudos to the team, I guess.
I wouldn't give her the Woman of the Year award. I would give her the Superwoman of the Year
No.
award.
I can't take all that credit because the Diamond Award is a set project. It already had a foundation, and Richard has been very instrumental helping out. So
Anyway, you both have done really tremendous job, and I hope that we will be able to continue working like that. Any other comments on this Diamond Awards? Okay, let's go on the next item on the agenda, please.
Arts Tune-Up Workshop 2009.
Okay, Ms. Marashian again.
okay, Arts Tune-Up. I reported at past couple of meetings. I've been talking about this. Finally, right before we came to this meeting, we finalized the date for the for LA County Arts Commission hosting this. We are going to host this event in our city, but it will be done by the LA County Commission. So the date is October 24th, and the venue will be at the Civic Auditorium. I have copies of the flyers from Arts Tune-Up workshop organizers at your desk for you to have an idea what kind of programs they offer. It's very helpful, and I think young artists like James Moya will be benefiting greatly from this kind of workshops. They have grant writing programs, they have fundraisers, they have great sponsors, donors, art-related organizations. It's a very good informational programs to benefit artists because they really need help with their business side of the career, in their career.
Okay, any questions from Ms. Marashian? No. Okay, that's a great event that you're organizing. I think it's going to be tremendously helping everybody, so I really appreciate that. So it is October 24th, the date is already set?
We thought October 24 is the safest date. They had October open for us, but we didn't want to interfere with the Unity Fest or any other events and be before the Halloween, so 24th seems the...
And do we have the place and everything done?
We have the Civic Auditorium available, the second floor downstairs, and it's a great, very nice space.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so you will update us in the future?
Definitely,
okay.
Yes.
All right. Any other
Once
comments?
we have more information.
Just one thing about that. At the event of the April 4th, I was very pleased to see some of the commissioners of different commissions of this diocese. They were present at the event. Ms. Devine was there. She always supports us. Thank you very much.
Divine. Paula Divine was there.
Yes, absolutely. So, it's nice to see this kind of a collaboration that we all stick together to help make this city a better place. We do it all by ourselves, but that's another story. So, thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda, please.
Commission's staff comments.
Any comments staff wants to make in addition to what we've done so far?
I do want to stress the point. I mean, I've been hearing throughout the community that the Arts and Culture Commission has failed. I take offense to that remark a little bit, and I want to say that all these events and all this planning that we go through and all this hard work that comes from this dais and from really the community with volunteers and so forth, that all goes down the drain when people say that the Arts and Culture Commission has failed, and I have to say again, I do take offense to that because this commission has not failed, and this commission, regardless of what happens to us, we're going to succeed until the day that were whatever it is, changed, reformatted, whatever it is. But to have such a negative view, and also some of the people who come to these exhibitions that we're doing and all this work, they only tell us the exact opposite and the contrary to why hasn't the commission always done this? and really it's things like that prove to me that this commission is a success. And I really want to stress that, because the arts succeeds only through a positive outlook. That's the only way. The only way. And yes, we have difficulties, and yes, we have quarrels and hurdles along the way, but the bottom line is that we get to the end goal and we make it a success. I just wanted to reiterate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments by any other commissioners? Mr. Stepanyan?
I just wanted to say a couple of things about our project. Is this the right time to say that?
Yes. If it is brief,
First,
and if there is no debate, yes.
No, there's no debate, no. I just want to say, first of all, that for those who are interested, Luna Playhouse, we were having some difficulties. Actually, we were having doubts whether we should sign a contract with our landlord. But to cut a long story short, he reduced the price and he agreed for us to have the premises on a month-to-month basis. So Luna Playhouse is continuing now with its work. And I have to announce three things quickly. Only for this weekend, we have a performance of Possessed. It's a play about Edgar Allan Poe's life and work, written and performed by Edgar Allan Poe IV, one of our members of our theater company, and a true descendant of the brother of Edgar Allan Poe, the writer. It's tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday night at 7 p.m. That's April 16, 17, and 18. We have that program, and then at 9 o'clock on Friday, the 17 and 18, that means two programs in the same night. We have a satirical comedy show called Travel Diaries of the former council member Bobby Sefian, accompanied by council member Dave Weaver. This is a very, very cheaply made show. We haven't spent a cent on it, but hopefully it's very funny. It's obviously satirical, but it's also just entertainment. And that's at 9 o'clock on Friday and Saturday, 17th and 18th of April. And next weekend on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we have our annual April 24th commemorative evening, which will consist of some poetry, some songs, and the one-act play Gurgen Yanikyan in My Defense. This is anyone who's ever wants to get to really know the emotions and the pains involved with the genocide will have an inkling of it after seeing this play. So that will be next weekend, 23rd, 24th, and 25th of April. It will be all of these events at Luna Playhouse, 3706 San Fernando Road in Glendale, a corner of Brand Boulevard. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stepanyan. And I must add, I'm so glad that you are continuing your work at the Luna Playhouse. I've been there several times, and all the works that I have seen have been absolutely outstanding and first class. So I expect some of these, or at least most of these, to be in that class. I thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
I do have to add. I think the Bob Yusefian and Dave Weaver is going to be a sellout. I have a feeling.
Well, yes.
Well, we'll see. Are you going to buy all the tickets?
I'm very interested.
Yeah. Yes, it's.
And actually,
as you know, they did take a trip together a few months ago. They toured the world to find out what is going on, just to get a lot of material for the, to become better city council members. Unfortunately, Bob Yusefian won't have the chance, at least for another 2 years. But this diary I found, and we're presenting it. He's not himself there. He's not going to be there himself. Neither presumably will be Mr. Weaver. But we found the diary, and we're going to read it and present it. It's very interesting, actually.
Well, satire and is always good and healthy. Healthy satire is always
Yes,
very good.
yes.
So we'll be looking forward to that. But the dates are 17th and 18th.
Yes, this weekend. I mean, obviously, if this is shown again, 17th and 18th of April, the doors will be open at 9 o'clock because the previous show, at the Edgar Allan Poe show, will finish on time, but we'll just need a few minutes maybe to set up. So, but I said don't expect any fanfare. No money was spent on this production because it just to as a kind of a emphasize that Glendale doesn't spend money on arts and culture, so we didn't spend any money on this production. We're just going to present it.
The satire has already
so
begun.
so people understand that arts can be done cheaply, maybe not well, but cheaply certainly.
Okay. Any other comments, please? No. Well, you don't have any comments. Okay. Again. Before adjournment, there is my only comments is again to remind the public of this great event on Saturday, April 18th, from 11 to 5. You don't have to be there all the 6 hours, but you can be there as as long as you like, and with the programs that are on our website, you can see which one is best for you. And please, I invite everybody, all the members of public, whoever has not seen this show, and whoever wants to see it again and again and again, to be there this Saturday, April 18th.
Commissioner Gregorian, how many of those artists are going to be there that day? Because somebody had a good suggestion, which it works. It was that to bring your catalogs, the ones that you got it on the 4th, or you can get the ones on the same day and have the artist sign it for you over there. That was a suggestion that I
That's
think
a
I would
good
like to do.
recommendation. Yeah.
So bring your catalogs, come there, and then at the end have the artist sign it, because it's going to be very valuable to you one day.
For sure, at least 6 of the artists are a member of the panel of question and answer, so at least 6 of them will be there, and there is a good chance that several more will be there because they were part of the subcommittee, and it is a major event, so they probably would like to be there, but I don't know how many.
Okay.
I can tell you that if nothing is unexpected happens, at least 6 of them will be there.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. With that, let's go to the next item, please.
Written communications, there are none.
There are none. And okay, this concludes the Arts and Culture Commission meeting of April 16th. And again, please don't forget Saturday, April 18th. With that, we adjourn. Thank you.